Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Now, everyone loves a good book, right? One that you can really sink your teeth into, one that's passed the test of time, recommended by loads of people, and very popular. Well, there's a book that is the most talked about, argued about, scrutinized, and examined. Its authenticity is questioned, its relevance is questioned. Yet it is the world's all-time bestseller with an estimated 2 billion copies in print. It's made up of 66 books written by over 40 separate authors from all kinds of backgrounds, from lowly peasants to noble kings, and they were scattered over 3 different continents over a period of at least 1600 years. And yet it is perfectly harmonious and consistent in its writings from cover to cover. It was completed in its entirety about 2,000 years ago and stands today as the best preserved literary work of all times. There are ancient manuscripts back from the 200s that are nearly identical to the book that we read today. Now, this book, whilst being completed some 2,000 years ago, is today still being printed. Now, in the publishing world, there's no hard and fast rule of how long a book will remain in print, but the major factor, of course, is sales. If a book continually sells and remains profitable, well, it will remain in print. If not, printing stops. Very few books have remained in print since they were first published decades, even centuries earlier. Now, just to name a couple, there was 9 that I could find, but there was the Canterbury Tales from the 1400s, Don Quixote from the 1600s, The Pilgrim's Progress from 678. Now, whilst these books are mainly fiction, with insights, of course, into history, culture, and people, they are primarily for entertainment. And to stay popular, books must capture the attention of readers over the span of multiple generations. Now, this book is certainly not fiction, and if it didn't relate and be profitable to people over generations in their daily lives, relationships, struggles, it would have been abandoned years ago. But it's still here, saving and changing lives. This book has the backing of archaeology. One renowned archaeologist has said, "It may be stated positively that archaeological discovery has never found a contradiction to any reference in this book, even the worldwide flood. All places and events mentioned in the book are able to be visited and evidence seen of the stories told." Now, here's something a little ironic. I love this little story. Someone who was totally against this book, a French philosopher called Voltaire, said that in 100 years from this day, this book would have passed into the mists of history as people become more liberated and enlightened. Voltaire is now dead, of course, but the book he ridiculed is today more widely read and pondered than ever. And in fact, this is the ironic bit. The house in which Voltaire lived later became a distribution centre for this book. How good is that? This book contains more than 1,000 inspired prophecies, of which the vast majority have already come to pass and can be verified by history. But there are still some yet to come. Now, you may say, a book like this, written so long ago, is it relevant today? So many people, they spend big bucks on inspirational speakers, these motivational seminars, and you know what? Most of what they say comes from this book. This book is full of inspirational thoughts, motivational quotes, poetic verses, leadership points, and profitable laws and teachings. And here's some daily sayings that you've probably used all the time. What goes around comes around. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Laughter is good medicine. The writing's on the wall. Pride goes before a fall. All of them from this book. In fact, Reader's Digest has said, no book in history has contributed more phrases to the English language than this book. It gives guidance and direction on marriage, raising kids, treating others, drinking too much, work ethics, foolish behaviour, positive and negative attitudes, generosity, self-discipline, leadership qualities and laws. So much. And I'm sure you've heard of the law of attraction, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of abundance, the law of momentum, all from this book. This book is fact. It is truth and it is alive. It is a source of hope, a joy, peace and strength, but also warnings, directions and guidance. It is inspired by God and is profitable for doctrine, for rebuke, for correction, for instruction in right living, that we may be complete and thoroughly equipped for every good work. What a great book. It is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, in piercing even to the division of soul and spirit and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. That is from this book itself. This book, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. It's an acronym, BIBLE. It is, of course, the Bible. It has stood the test of time and will continue to stand because it is a divine book revealed to mankind for a divine purpose. It transcends time and culture and meets people at their deepest place of need. No other book can make the claims of the Bible. Why not get yourself a copy and start reading? And I'd say start reading in the New Testament, the second half of the book. And it's probably good, if you do want to get a Bible, is to get a study Bible. The one I use is the Spirit-Filled Living Bible. This is an old version of it, Spirit-Filled Life Bible. But it is fantastic, gives you lots of extra notes and correlates all the Bible together, takes you from one passage to the other, the old to the new, to tell you how it all fits together, and gives you great insights just into life in general and living daily. Thank you for listening. Get into the basic instructions before leaving Earth.